Alrighty, we seem to be live. We seem to be nice and live. Allow me a brief moment to put the link to the stream in my Discord server. Link to join my Discord server in the description, as it always is. If it's not working for whatever reason, please do inform me. Whop. There we are. Alright. So, I do need to pull up my chat reading device, which is complete. Remember to switch it to all messages instead of top messages, which I still find quite foolish. Why is there a difference? Why is that a thing? Alright. Yep, alright, the music does in fact loop on the title screen. Alright, I did already go into the settings and adjust things to how I want them. My internet has been a little bit off. Danganronpa, woo, time to get our thinking hats on. Yeah, it's a Danganronpa fan game today. Danganronpa LAPSE. All I know is what's on the itch page, as usual. This will actually be my first time going into a Danganronpa game completely blind, because, when I played Danganronpa V3 and when I played Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, I actually knew everything beforehand because I'd watched playthroughs of it, and I haven't actually played Danganronpa 2 myself, but I have watched playthroughs of it, which is one of the reasons I'm really excited for 2x2. Yeah, I still consider myself a pretty avid fan of Danganronpa, so I am hoping that this holds up. All of the comments on itch were very positive. What is this game? I'm scared. Don't worry. You've never heard of this? That's because it's a fan game. Revolver? Yes. Danganronpa and their bullet motif. But yeah, alright, it seems like we've waited long enough here on the title screen, so without much further ado, let's get into this. Oh, and, by the way, I do not have a drink with me this time, so we are going to be raw dogging this. My throat is going to be dry as hell. Notice, the mini-menu is located at the bottom of the screen. Right-click to quickly access the screen. Suffer, Sarah, mwahaha, I shall. The heart of man is very much like the sea. It has its storms, it has its tides, and in its depths it has its pearls, too. Vincent van Gogh. Ring, ring, ring. Ring, ring, ring. Hello, wake up for school, little numbnuts. What is that sound? A ring, ring, ring. Okay. I opened my heavy eyelids to an unfamiliar room. Oh, guess I was asleep, but where am I? This isn't my room. I turned my head to the right to see a small old-fashioned alarm clock on the nightstand. The time read 7:30. 7:30? In the morning or evening? I reached over to stop the alarm when suddenly I felt a dull pain in the back of my head. Ow! I sat up from the bed to rub my head and shut off the alarm. The pain subsided quickly, and it was then did I fully take in my surroundings. I found myself in a comfortable room. Soft lighting rested against the warm-colored walls. The furniture was devoid of any dust or dirt, and the bed itself was extremely plush. An unassuming painting hung just above my head. I scooted from the center of the bed, kicked my feet out from under the covers, and began perusing the room of its amenities. A roomy closet, a small writing desk in the corner, and a single bathroom. It was overall a rather luxurious room without seeming overly elegant in its design. The room is comfortable enough, but how on earth did I get here? Am I imagining this? I hope I didn't hit my head. I went to the bathroom, turned the cold tap, and let my cupped hands fill with the crisp water before splashing my face. The chill snapped my senses awake as I took a moment to collect myself. Well, as far as I can tell, at least I'm in one piece. I noticed my everyday coat was on a hanger behind me. I pulled the coat on and adjusted myself. It wouldn't hurt to recall the basics. My name is Echo Pine. I'm a student at Calm Mind Institute, coming toward the end of my final year. My best friend is Ashley. Ashley! The last thing I remembered was seeing my best friend Ashley off for the day as she went to take care of her horses. Ashley, I wonder if she made it home all right. I admit I was a little less thorough in making sure she made it into her house that late afternoon, but I'm sure she's all right. Or, I hope. I racked my brain, thinking about that evening. Whoa. Pretty. Not the girl in the background. All right, thanks for the lift. And be careful with your ankle. I can't believe you insisted on driving even though it's sprained. It's no problem at all. Besides, my ankle is almost done healing, so it's no big deal. It's not like I drive with that foot anyway. I'm just worried since I can't walk you to the door. I wanted to see if Applejack was in a petting mood tonight. Okay, so we named our horses after My Little Pony characters. Honestly based. My house is right there. You don't need to worry. And if she is, I'll make sure to give that kitty a good scratching for you. So it's a cat? You just mentioned horses. Alright, thanks. Night, Ash. Good night, Echo. I left the car in park and watched as Ashley crossed the lawn. I declined putting any more strain on my left ankle since it was still recovering from a sprain, but I remained vigilant. Her porch light wasn't on, so as she got closer to the house, she faded into the evening shadows. I waited a few more minutes until I heard her front door close. Click. Okay, time to get back. I shifted back into drive and let the wheels crawl before accelerating. But upon my slow graze across the gravel, I didn't see her living room light turn on. I was worried, but I was certain I heard her front door close. Was I really certain, though? I remember clearly driving off, not seeing her living room light turn off. Nothing. Suddenly, a darkness welled up inside me. Was I in this strange, unknown remote location because I didn't make sure my friend was safe in her home? No, that would be absurd. Those two things can't be linked together just because I was less cautious than usual. I combed through the room once more and realized I didn't have any of my personal possessions on hand, or in the room itself. No phone to call Ashley to make sure she's okay. Sure, there was an ancient landline service phone in the room, but I didn't know where I was to begin with. I started to panic. I had to get out of here. I got so caught up in both my head and an unprovoked fear that I threw the door open with full force, nearly hitting the person just outside. And that person just happened to be... Whoa! Watch it! Ash? Huh? Echo? It was strange. The very friend I thought I suffered a consequence for not making sure they made it home safe was standing right in front of me for some inexplicable reason. You're okay. Ashley Westbridge, a dear old friend of mine. She's what some people would call a horse girl, which seems like a vague thing to call someone who just happens to tend to equines. That irreverent thought aside. Yeah, of course I'm okay. But what about you? You're as pale as a ghost. I just got a little worked up is all. I woke up in this unknown place and I thought it was because I didn't see your lights go on in your house before I drove off. I rattled off the thoughts that stirred my fears just moments ago. Echo, it's okay. You don't have to worry about a thing. I made it home to take care of Hyperion all in one piece. I was just a little tired is all, so I went straight to the stables behind the horse and took the back door entrance. Sorry I worried you. Ashley wrapped me in a big familiar hug and I immediately felt calm. Thanks, Ash. I know I shouldn't get so worked up about stuff like that, but sometimes I can't help it. You know, one thought led to another, and I just jumped to the worst possible conclusion. Oh, Hecko, you needn't fret so much. You'll make yourself sick with worry. However, I can totally understand where your worry might come from, especially in this scenario. Yeah, just where are we? Hold on, let me just make sure. Yeah, it seems like the volume's good. Yes, that is the question. With my mind and heart at ease, I discussed the situation with Ashley. I told her that I woke up not long ago thanks to the provided alarm clock, and her experience was just the same. She, too, felt the dull pain of a lingering headache upon awakening. And she, too, felt a brief moment of confusion due to the unknown setting. I couldn't find any of my possessions in my room. I tried to find my phone to call you, but no luck. I don't have anything of note in my room either. I don't have any of my things with me, like my satchel or phone. It's odd. Although there aren't any answers to the obvious questions, like how did we get here, where are my things, etc. I strangely feel comfortable here. I think it might be that super plush bed. Not gonna lie, I'd really like that back home. We laughed among ourselves and decided to explore what seemed to be some sort of mansion. I still felt uneasy, but thanks to seeing a familiar face, I felt a little safer. I closed my room door behind me, noticing there was a plaque that was adorned with the symbol of my high school. Looking further down the hall, the various other door plaques shared the same features. I spotted Ashley's right away as well. It seems her room was just adjacent to mine across the hall. Looks like there are other students here as well. Other plaques with school emblems, I'm assuming. Seems that way, although I haven't run into anyone yet. Not literally like you, of course. Very funny. The hall interior was all very ornate, with dark wood lining the walls and candle sconces lighting the path. The dark wood floor was covered in a thick woven rug that created a path toward an opening in the hallway. I think I can hear some others down the hall. Ashley took the lead as we curiously walked through the hall, taking in the ambiance as we gazed at the miscellaneous paintings of nature that hung on the wall. The sound of lively conversation grew louder as we approached the connecting room. Whoa, fancy. Oh wait, I love the art. The art is really good, yeah. Sure enough, there were 3 other people having a lively chat in the foyer. What the fuck? Did I click? I think I double-clicked on accident? Maybe that caused an issue here? Why are you so slim? We found the real Slim Shady, I guess. Hey, you two! Good of you to make it. I was wondering how many other people were going to come around. You could just count how many doors with plaques there are in the living quarters hallway. Nah, I'm not attentive enough for something like that. I'll just figure it out from how many of you I meet up with. You're awfully carefree, aren't you? Yeah, it's because I have good company with you lovely folks. Aw, come on. What's with the cold shoulders? I'm just here to have a good time. The person with the hat continued preoccupying his present less-than-willing company with his lively conversation. I quietly took in the atmosphere of the foyer before approaching the group. The main clearing was huge. It featured a shiny white marble floor extending into 2 spiraling staircases on either side of its circular walls. An elevator resided in the center of the wall, opposite from the front door. A beautiful grand chandelier hung from the center of a marbled ceiling, just above a modest table at ground level. The wooden table itself was rather bare, only containing a decorative flower vase and a very polite note printed on premium-grade cardstock. Thank you for joining us on this momentous occasion. Please make your welcome official by signing in utilizing the bracelets that have been provided. Simply tap the bracelet to the digital kiosk that is located at the foot of the stairs. I like the clothes designs, especially Ashley's shirt. Yeah, the outfits are really good. I lifted my left wrist to see the bracelet in question. It was a light, simple thing. A rose gold plate with my name on it strung into a bracelet with a small chain of the same color. I hadn't even noticed it until now. Ashley was admiring hers just as I did. Her bracelet hung on her right wrist, just above her own wood cuff bracelet. I looked over at the other students' wrists as well, and they all had the same thing, albeit presumably with their own names. What was the purpose of these things anyway? Rather than get absorbed in wondering about the small decoration, I decided to join in small conversation. Hello there. Have you three already scanned your bracelets? Yes, we all convened here just a few minutes ago. I would recommend you scan your bracelets on the kiosk as well, since it grants access to rooms after the welcome. Oh, what I do? I went over to the aforementioned kiosk that was nestled strangely within the luxurious decor. The kiosk displayed a simple map of the first floor layout by default. The foyer led to 4 locations: the living quarters, the dining hall, the study, and the theater. I held up my wrist close to the screen and it quickly detected my bracelet, displaying a sparse summary of information, my name and a profile picture. Echo Pine.
Thank you for signing in. You may now roam the first floor freely. Your bracelet corresponds to your room and your room alone. They are paramount to keeping your personal room and its belongings safe. Please take care of it. Please make yourself comfortable with all the given accommodations. And once again, welcome.
The screen went to the original map screen as it was before I scanned my bracelet. I stepped aside to let Ashley sign in as well, and in the meantime got to introducing myself to the other students. Hey there, I'm Echo Pine, and this is my friend Ashley Westbridge. You don't need to say your last name. Most people only introduce themselves with their first name. I guess it is inspired by Danganronpa. Japanese, and in Japanese you usually say last name, first name, I guess. I guess that makes sense. Nice to meet you all. Likewise, I'm Arturo Campopiano, but just Art is perfectly fine. I'm pretty sure that's like Italian. Arturo Campopiano. Arturo Campopiano. I'm not doing the accent. Likewise, I'm Arturo Campopiano. Arturo Campopiano! I'm sorry, that's just fun to say. But just Art is perfectly fine. Missy Vesper, the pleasure's all mine. Kanon Ota. Have you all met before? Why not? Because I don't feel like it. Also, I can't really do my, Italian accent in my Arturo Campopiano voice. Actually, I guess that was okay. No, it's really stereotypical, and I don't want to be rude. That would be negative. Nothing like making new friends, though, right? Kanon said nothing, instead letting out a loud sigh with absolutely no subtlety and hiding her annoyance towards Art's enthusiasm. I see. That said, you mentioned you two are acquainted. Oh, yeah. We were pen pals the summer before high school started, and we just became close over time. That's quite endearing. Thank you? I didn't expect that kind of answer from Missy. Maybe she's the type to secretly cry at romantic movies. Well, if we're all signed in, why don't we visit the dining hall? I don't know about the rest of you, but I feel tea is in order after waking up. I'm in favor of that idea. I'd like to explore afterwards as well. Yeah, I wonder who else we're gonna run into. This is exciting. Missy walked briskly toward the dining hall, which was just opposite of the living quarters hall where we entered the foyer. Art followed quickly, after which just left Kanon back in the giant clearing. I'll explore at my own pace, thank you. Oh, okay. I suppose we'll see you later? With a curt and definitive statement, Kanon made her case stating that she was going to stay put in the foyer. Ashley and I followed the other two into the dining hall, leaving Kanan to her business. The dining hall was rather small and intimate. A single long woodcraft table and modest chandelier created the centerpiece. A black marble fireplace with a natural painting hanging just above decorated the far wall.
Excuse me, didn't mean to yawn.
The table setting bore 16 chairs, 14 on each side and 2 on the heads of the table. That doesn't look like it. Really doesn't look like it. It looks like it has 8 chairs. The table was already decorated with light accessories, candelabra, small vases of flowers, and an encyclopedia about ships. And shipping dynamics. You know, I ship Sinari. The room itself was connected to a small kitchen, one with the usual kitchen staple appliances. An oven, a refrigerator, a large dishwashing sink, a gas range, and all the utensils and tools one might need. Hold on, something ain't right. What do you mean something ain't right? Is it the fact that there are much fewer chairs in the art than in the description? I would assume so. The small storehouse pantry was off to the side, with nothing of readily edible interest to the common person. Wow, this place is super loaded, huh? Art made a beeline for the 2 side rooms, poking in and out of the dining hall between the pantry and kitchen. Missy, on the other hand, gazed slowly around at the dining hall itself. It's a very fine setting, but not so much that it feels oppressively high-end. Yup, everything looks to be in order for a good meal. Art finally stopped pacing around and sat at one of the seats, kicking his feet up on the table as he looked around the room. Missy noticeably shook her head at the action. But, where is everyone? This place seats like a bunch of people, but there are only 5 of us. I wonder if no one else has woke up yet. Maybe others ignored their alarms? Some people like to sleep in and all. I approached the natural painting above the fireplace, admiring the soft colors and brushwork. As I stood in front of it, the painting faded out to reveal what looked to be an emblem. Following this display of the emblem screen, an announcement came from overhead speakers within the room. The voice silvery and modulated.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you have a lovely stay. Feel free to utilize the kitchen to your heart's content, or if you're unable to, you may use the automated cook feature by tapping your bracelet onto the kitchen's digital kiosk and selecting a meal. Or if neither of those suit your particular tastes, you may consult your group's ultimate level kitchen hand.
The emblem disappeared, returning the screen to its initial artwork display. But what did that mean? What's an ultimate level kitchen hand? I turned to ask one of the other students, but it looked like Art had already figured it out. Or rather, figured something out. Whatever he started going on about next made no sense to me. Oh, I get it! This is the safe house a private group provided for us, since we signed up for the preservation project. Huh? You signed up to be here? Yeah, of course. If I guessed correctly, we all seem to be ultimate students. There are some serious ultimate vibes in this room, don't you think? Yes, that seems to be the case. What's an ultimate student? Don't tell me you don't know! Oh man, what are you even doing here? Ultimate students are typically high school students that super excelled in their field of expertise. They are often scouted by groups with various intentions, virtuous or nefarious. They will often have a focused set of skills that makes their abilities desirable to certain people, and with good reason. If there's a talent you can think of, there's probably an ultimate student out there that'll knock your socks off with their amazingness. So you're saying everyone here is super talented? You're kidding, right? You've been walking around this whole time with Ashley Westbridge, the ultimate jockey, and you didn't even know? Whoa, that's crazy! Huh? Ultimate jockey? I don't really talk about my talent outside of my usual day-to-day.
I've heard of Ashley Westbridge's accomplishments. She can wrangle just about any horse and ride them to victory. It's quite impressive to be able to tame such creatures, and any variety nonetheless. However, I've read that you excel best with your main partner, Hyperion, a Pinto Tracaner. Oh my, I didn't realize my achievements were so widely regarded. It's a little embarrassing hearing others remark upon them. Wow, even so. I looked over to Ashley, who, despite the sudden grandeur, looked as modest as ever. I love her outfit, can I say? Jesus Christ. I wish I could pull that off. Holy shit. Honestly, I just thought you were a typical horse girl. I don't know whether to find that humbling or insulting to my talent. So Ashley held the title of Ultimate Jockey, huh? I was curious to know what that implied. I never knew her to be particularly eccentric when it came to her lifestyle at the stables. For how long during our friendship did she have that title? Enough about me. What about you two? I admit I can't really put a talent to either of your names. With this newfound knowledge of the situation, I was curious to learn about the other students here. Art Compapiano. Art Compapiano! Ah! Your name is Art, right? May I ask what your talent is? Sure, I'm the ultimate golfer. Oh, fuck off! Fuck off, dude. I thought you were cool. Why do you play the sport of destroying the local wildlife, dude? What the hell? What is wrong with you? Bro, fuck you, honestly. Arturo Compapiano. Ah! I'll never miss my mark. Total holes in one all day, every day. Wow, how did you manage that? I don't know. I can't stand having to put more energy into extra strokes, so I make the first and last one count. What kind of reasoning was that to become a pro golfer? That's an interesting way to go about it. I can't even imagine being able to control the club like that. It took a lot of practice for sure. I used to golf a lot with my grandpa. It was all in good fun back in the day, so I guess I never really thought about it as work, you know? I've flubbed a few times, sure, but who doesn't? Art seems to have taken a lot of pride with his title. It's admirable. But you know what they say, eat the rich. I gotta kill this guy as soon as Monokuma comes around. Missy Vesper. What those individual groups or institutions do with the students is beyond me. I've not heard many stories of success or failure from anyone who's had the luxury of being accepted. In any case, don't take much stock in the title, is all I'm saying. I have to admit, though, I am rather curious of the titles, now that the subject has been brought up. That's understandable. I am the ultimate tactician. Basically, I play a fuck ton of Fire Emblem. Tactician? Like battle tactics? No, it's more like political campaign tactics and strategies. The less interesting of the two people usually think of. I've been at the forefront of numerous political campaigns and battles, many of which I've been employed to strategize against by opposing forces. Really? Aren't you basically manipulating the winner outcome then? The choice is not mine, but the people's. I simply put the message out, framing it in the most self-beneficial way possible for each side. I think political campaigns can be interesting. But wouldn't Ultimate Campaign Manager be a more appropriate title? Well, I'm not the one who came up with the title. I see. Missy seems to be a very self-assured person who doesn't seem to care much for the extravagance an ultimate title implies. Such captivating talents! I'd love to watch one of your games, Art. I wouldn't. I don't like you. Aw, it's nothing. I bet horse racing is much more interesting. I too love horse racing. It's just like hit game Uma Musume. Pretty Derby. Anyways, I got a Discord ping. Hold on, let me check that.
It was my sibling. Oh my fucking god. So I play Genshin Impact a lot, right? And earlier, literally today, like not even 2 hours ago, impulsively, I did a single pull on the Flynn's banner, and I got Flynn's, which really pissed me off because I was saving for the Farina run that's coming up soon. You know, pissed me off a bit. But, yeah, I'm just gonna have to farm the fuck out of Genshin later on to get Farina. Indeed, your feats of athleticism are quite impressive. Yeah, I admit it's hard to imagine. It's really not such a big deal, Echo. Honestly, the whole ultimate student thing feels a tad blown out of proportion. Sensing Ashley was done with the praise, I shifted the topic. Well, now that we're all acquainted, why don't we look around some more? Looks like there's more to be seen upstairs. Oh, yes, it was a pleasure talking to you two. Don't be a stranger. We can explore together. Art's echoing voice sounded through the dining hall. Oh man, the kitchen features are cool! What's this? Clunk! On second thought, I might keep an eye on Art for a little. I'm sure he won't mind the company. Alright, we'll see you around. Vogue, wonderful. Ashley and I stepped out of the dining hall into the foyer once more. Kanon didn't stay for long. The foyer was devoid of her presence. Where to? There are stairs going up, but I think we should check out the entirety of this floor first. I was thinking the same. Why don't you pick where we go next? Sure, the other locations are the study and theater. You know my ass is going to the theater, hell yeah! Let's watch Newsies! I hope there's a good production up there. I hope I'm the ultimate thespian. Honestly, I feel like if I had an ultimate talent, it would be ultimate thespian. Maybe if I make a self-insert Danganronpa OC, they'll be the ultimate thespian, or definitely something theater-related. Ashley and I walked across the hallways to our next location, the theater. My sibling is thirsting over Flynn's and my DMs. Okay. The theater was something to behold. Although it was a fairly intimate scene with a few rows seats and a medium-sized stage, it still had an air of elegance thanks to the decor. The rich red velvet curtains glowed underneath the gaze of a bright spotlight. The stage itself was occupied by 3 students who seemed to be having a heated discussion. Oh, I love you! Holy hell! To the both of you, okay? Please? 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 Alright, enough of that.
You really want to stand by that theory?
Hey, to each their own. I'm not knocking you for not thinking the obvious. Let's settle down, please.
Absolutely not. I have no intention of changing my view for this scoundrel. That's cold, especially to a stranger.
You two don't need to get so heated about something like this. It's an important matter between 2 strongly opinionated people.
So we agree on that matter.
Maybe I should cut in? What's going on here? The 3 turn around, surprised, presumably from not being able to see me at the unlit foot of the stage.
Need you ask such a foolish question? We are discussing the dire and apparently questionable existence of this.
The white-haired student crouched down to reveal a painting that was turned away from the audience. It was a framed picture of what looked like inkblot art. So it's a Rorschach test. Oh, I see. You're trying to figure out what the painting is.
Yes. And what do you see?
I stared at it for a moment, but looked up at the 2 patiently, in all seriousness, waiting for my answer. I'll have to think about it.
No immediate answer.
I felt his judging eyes pierce my soul.
It's a dog. Not everything has to be a dog. It's clearly an elephant.
So, just a different four-legged animal? The conversation seemed pretty heated. I might have better luck if I just talk to them individually. White-haired student. I have a thing for white-haired men, alright? And I'm not talking about old people. I visited the white-haired student on the stage. So, about the painting, I think I do see the elephant.
No need to feign understanding. I am quite self-assured that the painter's intention was to illustrate an elephant, as abstract as it appears.
Uh-huh. I stared at the painting a little bit longer. The more I looked at it, the more I willed it into being what he claimed was the true subject. Despite being told what the subject was, I couldn't make out anything within the shapes. So, do you have an eye for this kind of thing?
An eye for abstract art? Hime, my friend. I'm not an ultimate artist. I'm the ultimate opera singer.
Oh, I love you! I love you! Holy shit! Please? He rambled on about something a bit further before stopping himself. Right.
But where are my manners? Forte solo. Charmed, I'm sure.
Okay, that's really on the nose. Are you trans? Are you trans, dude? Dude, are you trans? Are you trans? You come off as non-binary. Are you trans? Hi. Are you trans? Are you envy? Are you they, them? Hi. Hi, I love you. They gave a deep bow as they introduced themselves. Slowly rose and went station. They sure have some interestingly placed dramatic moments. Apron-wearing student. The girl who was caught in the middle of the stage and left the other two to glare at each other in silence. Pandora Espere, nice to meet you. Likewise, I'm Echo Pine. Echo Pine, I hope we get along. So I was informed that this little group of students is composed of students that have ultimate talents. Did you happen to have a title of some sort? Oh, yes, I am known as the Ultimate Baker. Pandora Espere. Ah. I can't say it seems totally on the nose. And yourself? About that, I don't seem to know. I don't think I have one, if I'm being honest. That's no matter. It doesn't make you any more or less. So, what do you think the painting is? I'm not really sure myself, but for something as ambiguous as that, it can be whatever the viewer wants it to be. N'est-ce pas? I suppose so. Perhaps it isn't the subject of this piece that is most important, but rather, it is the emotions it conveys to the individual. Black and white are quite striking colors to work with, are they not? There's a lot of symbolism behind those two simple colors. But I wonder if the artist behind the piece enjoyed creating it. The art wouldn't have come to life otherwise, so I don't see why not. I agree. Pandora, she's such a warm presence. She looks like a lesbian. Though, to be fair, I think that about every woman wearing an apron. I think it's because of Nawagokuro, I'll be honest. Nawagokuro YTTD. Why did the stream screen go black? Did I disconnect? Am I dropping frames? Ah, yes, internet issues, internet issues. That's fun, that's fun. Gotta love having internet issues. Yippee! Yippee! Yahoo! Wahoo! Yay! Yippee! Wah! Well, internet issues be damned. I'm gonna keep playing this game. This is really good. This is a really good design game. This is really fucking good. Dark-haired student. I approached the student wearing the fur-lined jacket. So, about the painting, I think I do see the dog.
Huh. You don't have to lie. I don't care about what it is. In fact, I don't even know what the painting is either, so I made something up. The dog is an easy thing to imagine. It's just a practice of pareidolia.
Pareidolia?
The act of perceiving a subject or significance where there is no meaningful interpretation.
Aprons equals now. Yeah, that's real. I don't really like the deep voice for him. I think I'm gonna give him the little shit voice. For example, seeing objects in clouds, formations, or hearing indistinct voices and random noise. And in this case, seeing a dog in an abstract painting. Dogs are common enough animals, yeah? Who doesn't like to think about dogs? I stared at the painting a little bit longer. The more I looked at it, the more I willed it into being what he said it was, even if he did make it up. Despite being told what the subject was, I couldn't make out anything within the shapes. I think I do. Isn't it a little cruel to make something up when he's so intense about it? I just wanted him to explain why he saw what he did, but he truly wouldn't. So much for friendly discussion. To each their own, I suppose. Well, anyway, I'm just going around meeting everyone. I would tell you my talent, if I had one. You don't have an ultimate title, or you can't remember. He seemed to be muttering under his breath about my last statement, but I paid him no mind and waited for his response. I'm Lyle Termina, the ultimate puzzle master. The connoisseur of word puzzles, block puzzles, escape room puzzles, the like. Oh, so you are definitely gonna be the little shit character. Now, if you don't mind. Lyle turned back to the painting, ending our conversation abruptly. Puzzles, huh? Maybe he was trying to unscramble the shapes in that painting. Ashley and I left Forte and Lyle to have their spat in peace. Pandora stayed behind, trying still to settle the two down. Phew. Forte and Lyle were kind of intense, huh? I'll say, I never really had a sharp eye for art, so what they were talking about is beyond me. Not gonna lie, I don't see it at all. I barely see it, I'll be for real. And Pandora is, brave for trying. It takes a certain kind of person to want to intervene when things get heated, huh? Let's go to the study next. Yuppie! I hope we meet a cool person. The study was cramped. Encyclopedias that filled to the ceiling covered an abundance of subjects, ranging anywhere from medical to athletic. There was a small office corner provided for studying the tomes in relative ease. Another digital kiosk stood off to the side, showing a searchable list of books in the study. Ashley observed the kiosk curiously as I gawked at the variety of reading material stuffed in the shelves. Oh wow, this equestrian encyclopedia was published only 2 years ago. I have an old version, so this could be really interesting. You would... What, now that you know I'm the ultimate jockey, it all makes sense? No, you're still the same old horse girl I know, but with a fancy title. There were 2 other students taking residence in the library, one meekly hiding in the corner and the other calmly leafing through their book of choice. Oh, please, please, you, hello there, hello, sir! Hello there, sailor! Just give me one chance, sir! I am going to again reiterate. I am on the Arrowway spectrum. Anyways, calm student, hello, sir! What are you, the ultimate pot smoker? The ultimate drug dealer? The ultimate chill guy? The ultimate... I can't say that on YouTube.com. The green-haired student noticed me approaching him and deftly flipped his book shut with one hand, giving me his full attention. Good morning. I immediately felt that attention to be near palpable from his focused gaze alone. Are you finding everything all right? The study has quite a pleasant atmosphere, wouldn't you agree? Oh, yes, it's very well accommodated. The study, as well as the rest of the facility, are all nicely prepared. Indeed.
You could spend days in this well-kept study enriching your mind in regards to whatever subject your heart desires. Does that sound like an inviting prospect?
I don't see why not. A location for ultimate students should be in peak condition, right? This preservation project situation seems to be equipped for comfort.
Ah, so you've been made aware of the preservation project.
He hesitated, as if chewing meticulously on his next statement.
Do you have an ultimate talent?
If I'm being honest, I'm not sure I even know what my talent is, considering this situation seems to revolve around it. Everyone I've met so far has some kind of title.
I admire your candor. Who knows? You might have some innate skills that you personally think are average.
You think so? I feel pretty ordinary, and I've never really been the center of mass attention for anything in particular.
The skill might just require a specific habitat, so to speak. Luckily, this appears to be the ideal place and social environment for expanding upon such hidden abilities. However, I wouldn't worry much about it. Whatever underlying passion or talent you have is for you, and you alone to enjoy.
That's reassuring. I feel like I've stumbled into something out of my league with so many skilled students. If you don't mind my asking, what's your ultimate talent?
It's hard to describe. I'm called the Ultimate Charisma, Cyrus Siruk.
Sirik?
Cyrus Siruk.
That's just Cyrus backwards, bro.
Cyrus Siruk, by the way.
Ultimate Charisma. You can use your charisma on me. Please, sir, give it to me. I need it. I need you. Please. Nice to meet you.
Back at you. A pleasure.
I didn't really understand the implication of his title, but I could feel a sort of alluring presence to him. I suppose that's what charisma is. It's also, I can't say any of this on YouTube.com. Meek. I approached the meek student standing in one of the darker corners of the study. Hey there. Sorry to spook you. I was just going around meeting everyone. I'm Echo Pine. I was dragged out of my room by that guy over there. He's evil. I peered over at the aforementioned person, who just looked to be calmly inspecting the rows of books. Fine, he didn't drag me out. I ran into him when I was wandering around. I just wanted to be alone in the study. She shot me a troubled glance after admitting her lie. Can you tell me about yourself? Me? I'm Saikono. I'm a watchmaker. Would you then by chance be called the ultimate watchmaker? I guess you could say that. I just tinker with watches and stuff. They go for a really high prices and apparently, but I don't particularly care for the money.
Saikono, ultimate watchmaker.
Whoa!
Someone once offered me 3 luxury cars for a single watch.
You must have some very well-admired craftsmanship.
I guess so, but
I can't even drive. What was I gonna do with 3 cars? She clammed up and awkwardly turned back around to face the bookshelf corner. I didn't want to pry, so I just... After meeting with the two others in the study, Ashley and I chatted about the other students. So we met Sai and Cyrus, a watchmaker and charismatic, respectively. I suppose one could become talented at improving their characteristics if they wanted to. Could be similar to managing a brand, perhaps? Maybe. Regardless, they seem nice enough. Yeah, Sai seems sweet, if not a little shy. After wandering around the first floor, Ashley and I paused in the living quarters. Hallway to gather our thoughts. Sorry, I thought there was a comma there. So those are all the available locations on this floor. I guess the rooms are interesting enough, but more importantly, I wonder just how many other students there are. That other student from earlier, Canons, just counted the doors, right? Why don't we go check it out? But who knows if there are more students on other floors? There were stairs going up in the foyer, so we could check that area out too. Excuse me? Speaking of Canon, I wonder what her talent is. Excuse me. Wait, that aside, how did I never know you had a super talent in horse racing? Huh? Well, it just never came up. I knew a lot of people before you who didn't particularly care for how much time I'd spend at the stables and racetracks, so I just stopped bringing it up. Besides, it's just easier to tell people I tend to horses. So what does being an ultimate level jockey imply? Does that mean you win a lot? Come on, Echo. I don't want to bore you with superficial numbers. I'll just say my win percentage is 44% and top 3 percentage is 84%. I don't know what those numbers are supposed to mean. Anyway, I'm not just a horse girl. I have other pets too. Yeah, like your cat, Applejack. Of course you'd remember Applejack. How could I not? She clawed up all my school vests. I can't believe I just survived a night at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The deep ringing of a school bell rang across the halls, echoing through the building. Then an announcement came over what seemed to be hidden overhead speakers in the ceiling.
It is now 9 a.m. The second floor amenities are now open, and will stay open until 7 p.m.
The second floor? After the announcement?
Excuse me.
Didn't mean to yawn there, partner. We saw Pandora filter out of one of the first floor rooms and into the halls. Oh, Ashley and Echo. Would you like to visit the second floor with me? I'm sure. We were just wondering about it as well. By the way, did you get anything to eat from the dining hall? Huh? Oh, no, I was a little distracted by the whole ultimate students thing. You're in luck. I made some croissants earlier. Here, help yourself. She produced a two items folded in cloth from her apron pocket. I accepted the small cloth-covered delight and unwrapped it carefully, revealing a small, bite-sized croissant. The heavens! From the fragrance alone, I was enveloped in the comfort of feeling the sun's rays on my skin. Ashley and I took one dough. A piece of chocolate inside melted as soon as it hit my tongue. It was smooth and rich, contrasting the light and sweet crumb of the dough housing it. God, I could go for a fucking chocolate croissant right now. You are living the life, Echo. That's the ultimate baker for you. C'est délicieux. I don't know. Is that French? C'est délicieux. I'm pretty sure that's c'est, but délicieux, I don't know how that's pronounced. God, I wish Snow were here. C'est délicieux. C'est délicieux. I don't know what language that is. I think it's French. But I don't have my French friend here. I don't have either of my people who speak French. Shit. I'm pretty sure that means it's delicious or this is delicious. I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? I mean, ugh. Fuck. Ugh. Oh no. Oh no. Pronounce the foreign word correctly. Everybody's gonna make fun of me. Oh no. Merci, but it's nothing at all. I just really enjoy baking. The look on people's faces when they smell delectably fresh bread coming out of the oven. The warm, fuzzy feeling you get when you eat your favorite food. Such a feeling is priceless. Pandora was right. After enjoying the croissant, I felt an intense nostalgia for my younger days, when I would spend summers running around outside, basking in the fresh afternoon sun. This was the power of an ultimate baker's delicacies, to invoke a warmth and sense of familiarity. What a wonderful thing. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I noticed you two are quite close. Have you met before? Echo's my best friend, 4 years now. Ah, c'est très mimi. A long friendship is something to cherish. I'm pretty sure it's French. I'm like 99% sure that's French. That's French, right? I'm gonna have to contact Snow later on. Shit, man. Next time I play a Danganronpa fan game, I should have Snow in call. I think that would be fun. Yeah, I got nothing. That's fair. I mean, I'm so sure that I have significant chat delay. Like, because my internet has been so off, so... Definitely. Echo's always been there for me, even if they are a little worrisome. Hey, how could you say that? I'm just looking out for you. I kid, of course. I really appreciate your concern, but you should think about yourself sometimes, too. Pandora smiled sweetly as we had our little back and forth. Sorry, why don't we get going? No worries, shall we? The three of us walked back down the hallway toward the foyer, where they were. Hey, Pandora, did you meet anyone else this morning? Anyone else? I can't say that I have. So far, I've only been acquainted with you two, Forte and Lyle. Oh, sorry, I thought you might have run into a few others like we have. This morning I went to the dining hall, then the theater. Unfortunately, Forte and Lyle kept me from going anywhere else with their argument. Then you must have woke up much earlier than us, huh? That's correct. Chrono clock has been tuned to my habits, given my day-to-day life. I wake very early to make sure my dough from the night before has properly risen, prepare any glazes I might need, prep my workstation. Oh, but I must be boring you with my daily routine. No, not at all. It's fascinating, honestly. You're sweet, Echo. Perhaps I'll invite you to help me tomorrow morning. Hope you're awake at 4:30 a.m. Oh, sure. I can't promise I'll be fully awake, though. Pandora laughed lightly in jest as she went on her merry way up the stairs. Ashley and I followed suit, and we were met with another digital kiosk at the top of the staircase. The screen displayed another map, this time of the second-floor locations. The atrium, the spa lounge, the climbing center, and the jazz club. What the? What kind of mansion has a climber in it? Maybe the owner is an eccentric rock climber? I think the assortment of activities is presented to cater to the unique talents of various students. I sent that at the eating wall. Ah. In fact, the kitchen pantry has a wealth of resources. I was quite surprised to find such fresh and rare ingredients. I imagine other ultimate chefs would be pleased with the selection as well. That's a good point. There was a theater on the first floor after all. Forte and other ultimate performers probably utilized the room as a place to further hone their skills. The Preservation Project. It seemed like this group wanted to accommodate a myriad of intense and unique students. I wonder what kind of group had the ability to provide such a vast selection of activities and resources. Where to first? I'm curious. Center. This mansion must be huge if it can house something exciting like that there. I'd like to see the spa lounge. It must be a lovely, relaxing place. Echo, why don't you decide? Well, okay. Let's explore the climbing center. We inspected the map for a route to the center and made our way there in no time at all. You know I'm gonna side with my childhood friend. Wow, this is just like hit friend slop game peak. The climbing center was a vibrant, spacious place. The artificial rock and arch formations that curved the walls reached upwards of what looked to be 3 stories high toward a bright, naturally lit ceiling. Off to the side was a preparation locker room full of ropes and harnesses, as well as a small vending machine full of energy drinks and water bottles. Whoa! This place is huge! I can't imagine how anyone gets up there. I craned my neck up, inspecting the array of colorful grips that dotted the sprawling, ascending surface. The hanging ropes disappeared into the distance of the light. The world is full. The world is certainly full of events. Where there's will, there's something. Usually when I skip too fast, I, look at my stream. But my stream is horribly delayed. So I guess we'll never know what that said. Pandora poked out from under one of the arch formations, just as taken with the incredible height as I was. That's for sure. I'm an athlete, but I can't say I excel here. I don't really have a good tolerance for... If you don't mind my asking, how did you two discover your talents anyway? Ashley pondered the question for a second. I was raised in the countryside on a farm, so it probably came to me like second nature. As a child, going to the racetrack with my father was honestly just another errand. That is, until he let me ride the horses myself. I felt a love for the exhilarating competition at that point. I was homeschooled by my mothers. One a teacher and one a prolific baker! Lesbian parents! Lesbian parents! Lesbian parents! Let's fucking go! Yahoo! We love, we love, we love! They taught me everything I know about baking. I also cherished the enjoyment people felt when tasting my baked goods. Eventually, I too felt a love for the task at hand. Wow, you two are truly incredible. Oh, you're an incredible person too. Don't let labels deter you from speaking to us as anything but your peers. Oh, that was Pandora. Whatever, my voices are getting all mixed up. I really have, like, 3 voices. Yeah, Echo, don't think too much about the title stuff. We're still people, you know. Don't think too much about the title stuff. Such a remarkable feat would be difficult to put aside. They were so humble when talking about their ultimate talents. I wondered if I could ever measure up. After wandering around in the climbing center, we set off to visit the spa lounge. Please don't show anybody in bathing suits. I'm begging you, I do not want to see that shit. The spa lounge was serene. A shallow pool was laid into the marble floor. A mesmerizing opalescent ceiling mirrored the pool above it. Several simple relaxation loungers lined the walls for general leisure. Off to the side was a storeroom stocked with a perfumey inventory of scented oils, bath soaks, and skincare products. Just by the storeroom doorway sat a familiar kiosk. I'd love to spend some time here. Pandora sat in one of the lounge chairs, stretching her arms above her head before relaxing her hands on her lap. But now that I think about it, are facilities like this meant to be self-run by the residing students? Pandora brought up an interesting observation. The kitchen offered fully automated meals, but they still provided the option of having the student utilize the kitchen and tools. Peeking into the storeroom, I saw a separate hallway of individual private rooms labeled for certain services. Facial, massage, aromatherapy. Hey, you might be right there. There are all these little specialized rooms with all sorts of specific equipment. If you consider my talent in arts, there might be a racetrack or golf course outside, along with other outdoor recreation talents like angling or skiing. Perhaps that would be a very exciting prospect. That could mean all the other facilities and activities have features that are tuned accordingly to certain talents. Yeah, just from a glance, I figured that the study was just a library, but I suppose there are resources there as well that are fitted for talents that require research or writing. To think such an extraordinary place existed to benefit the many pursuits of equally extraordinary people. I sure do hope we don't have to kill each other. So do either of you do anything special to train for being an ultimate student? Je ne pense pas. Je ne pense pas. Je ne pense pas? Je ne pense pas. Je ne pense pas. I'm fucking killing myself. Je ne pense pas. Although some could say I bake too much. I simply suspect my peace trees have ended up in the right hands for me to be considered. I don't really do anything special either. I also race quite a bit, but most of my time is spent plainly practicing. Like Pandora, there may have been a scout in the audience. I honestly couldn't say. I see. Just putting in the hours, so to speak? Huh. Perhaps we were just lucky enough to have been selected for this opportunity to meet others cut of the same cloth, right? I couldn't agree more. I'm very charmed to be in such delightful company. Neither of them seem to do anything particularly intensive to earn their title. Oh hey, you're streaming again. I am streaming again! Hello, Muffin Maker. The stream is incredibly delayed because I'm having internet issues right now. I took a break, but I'm back. I'm back to streaming. It's a good thing, I think. Neither of them seemed to do anything particularly intensive to earn their title. I wondered about the others, whether or not they were trained, or if they too were just lucky enough to be selected. Pandora's country changed my mind. I don't think I can change your mind. Wandering about to our last destination, we finally came across the jazz club. I hate jazz. It was a welcoming venue. Warm furniture and lighting gave the room an air of a casual elegance. Table settings for the audience occupied the majority of the space, with a small stage in the corner for the performers. The close proximity between the two made the scene that much more intimate. A small green room was behind the stage curtains, and connected to it was the equipment and instrument storage. The bar opposite the stage had shelves upon shelves of beverages locked behind a sturdy glass case. A pretty classy atmosphere, huh? I wonder how many ultimate talents have toured this room for performances. Many, I'm sure. It's well kept among the rest of the rooms, so it'd be no surprise one would feel comfortable here. Then a thought crossed my mind. Do you think I could be some kind of ultimate jazz performer or ultimate bartender? Have you ever handled an instrument before? Or mixed beverages? No, but who knows? If I pick something up, I'll suddenly be stricken with an ultimate talent revelation and play like a pro. Cyrus said maybe it's an innate trait waiting to be discovered. It just occurred to me that perhaps these rooms aren't just for students with existing skills, but they could all budding talents. I suppose there's no harm in trying. Why not? I'd like to see the moment a talent has been realized. Relieved that they supported my odd idea, I felt a strange confidence rising. Cheerfully, I went behind the stage and picked an instrument I thought would suit me. This is not gonna end well. Ashley and Pandora both took a seat in the front row and watched in anticipation. I felt like a kid going through a toy box with how many options there were. How about this cello? Oh, just like Minerva! Just like Minerva. I haven't talked to Minerva in a long time. Honestly, I don't really know if Minerva even really considers me a friend at this point, but I don't think that really matters. The cello, just like my mother! Go for it. On as I gripped the bow and placed my fingers on the strings across the neck. I laid the bow across the strings, and it sounded like shit. It was true that my talent was waiting to be discovered. I couldn't wait to realize it. I took a deep breath and drew the bow, and it sounded horrible. And then... The sound I created tore through the air like a giant rubber duck was being unceremoniously stepped on. It was awful. I saw Ashley and Pandora flinch from the sound, but they still put on a brave face for my sake. I chuckled nervously and gently placed the instrument back where it originally was. I guess that's not it, huh? Girl, you don't know. You cannot just pick up an instrument and suddenly be overly amazing at it. Even fucking piano prodigies need to learn how to play the piano. Dumbass. Pointing at you, the viewer. Yes, you. You will never be immediately great at something. You will always have to learn it first. It comes with learning first, then you practice, then you can be an ultimate student and be dragged into the death game of your dreams. This has been Serotonin Rat, and I approve this message. I wobbled off the stage and plopped down wearily at the table with Ashley and Pandora. I was beyond embarrassed. Don't despair. I haven't found it yet. Despair? Red circle! This really is a Danganronpa game! Yeah, Echo. Not just anyone can handle an instrument. I mean, I thought that was supposed to be played like a giant guitar? I'm surprised you even knew how to approach holding it. Everybody and their mother has seen a fucking classical instrument that you need a bow for. Dumbass. I've seen performers before, so I just imitated what I saw. Oh, that makes sense. Pandora held my hand in a firm grasp. Listen, we're going to find out what your talent is. If we have to play 100 instruments poorly, at least we'll know we're one step closer to reaching our goal. Pandora reassured me and Ashley gave me a warm smile. One of these two is dying first. I'm sorry. There's too many death flags. One of these two is going to be the first death. Thanks, you two. Come, let's keep exploring. We left the jazz club. Outside the room, we raced Lyle in the hallway at the foot of the entryway. Hello there. Having a fulfilling time exploring? Yeah, totally. I still felt a little exasperated from the cello mishap, but tried to play it off as best I could. What's up with you? Don't tell me you're already tired. There's still a lot to explore. Lyle, please. It isn't a race to make ourselves familiar with all the different rooms. No, we were actually just about done over here anyway. It was just my luck that the room appeared to be soundproof. Based on their lack of adverse reaction, it seems neither Cyrus nor Lyle heard the disastrous sounds of a cello being poorly utilized. Then the sound of ringing and a voice rang through the speakers. A body has been discovered! Your attention, please. All students assemble in the second floor atrium for a special welcome ceremony. The 5 of us collectively made our way to the requested location, chatting about our discoveries along the way. Hashtag my atrium. The end of the second floor hall fed directly into a spacious, airy locale. Natural light poured in from the high glass ceiling. The lush trees that framed the circular lobby reached toward the sky, well past the ring of decorative plants that occupied the second floor. Small shrubbery lined the base of the trees in a circular fashion, following and framing the ellipse shape of the room. A well-maintained living wall lined the first floor's foundation. A bronze globe at the very center of the atrium drew the room together. Light and warmth flooded my body, filling me with serenity. Whoa! A familiar, excitable voice cut through the air, disturbing that serenity. Check this place out! Dang, wouldn't it be awesome if they had a mini golf set up in here? How cute would that be? Plenty cute. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Art and Missy entered the atrium from the foyer stairway entrance. I was surprised to see Missy still hanging with Art, along with a timid sigh, trailing behind them no less. Slowly, our populace gathered in the center of the atrium hall. Kanon and Forte leisurely made their way in much later than the rest of us, but arrived regardless. I saw all the students I had previously met. But afterwards, no one else came.
Kind of a tiny class, huh?
There were 10 of us, including myself. Art whispered the same observation I made. It was true that our class was rather small, but were we relearning here? I conceded calling a group of students a class was only appropriate. Minerva mentioned? Yes, I did indeed mention Minerva. Okay, so what that is showing me is that my chat reading device is lined up with the stream perfectly. So, it is now useless for me to react to. A hologram visual was presented from the centerpiece globe. A familiar voice came in from the overhead speakers. It was the same announcer from earlier in the dining hall.
This is a special announcement indicating the welcome of all present students. The Preservation Project group would like to humbly welcome you all to your provided safe house. As you are well aware, this safe house has been sequestered off from the growing concerns of disaster. You need not worry any longer of those concerns here.
Disaster? I peered across the room to see expressions of affirmation. Everyone seemed to have relating concerns. I knit my brow.
As ultimate students, we've provided you with the best amenities and environments to most efficiently cultivate your skills and talents in utter safety. You may utilize the facilities to the fullest extent during the requisite hours. However, do not think of this simply as a safe house. This location is more than equipped for you to thoroughly indulge yourselves with exquisite experiences. You are invited to enjoy yourselves freely. Welcome all to the Apothegm.
Awesome! Art audibly pumped his fist in the air. Although no one else displayed such a loud presentation of excitement, the other students were vividly talking amongst themselves at the prospect of such a blessing regardless.
The ultimate disappointment is what you are! No, that's crazy. That's crazy. I am the ultimate disappointment.
The projection cut out as the announcement concluded. The students began to wander again, likely to try out what the climbing center, and I accidentally clicked again, and I'm not going to be able to read the full thing. Everyone seemed to be breaking into their own groups while I stood still. I was excited, but a feeling of uncertainty stirred in the depths of my mind, suffocating my enthusiasm. Did I really belong here? As far as I knew, I wasn't an ultimate student. No intense talents, no masterful skills, not even interesting experiences. I started to feel sick with anxiety. Hey, Echo, I'm going to the spa with Pandora. Would you like to join us? I'm just gonna say it now, I think Ashley's trans femme. I think Ashley's on estrogen. Ashley's voice brought me out of my thoughts. No thanks, you two go on ahead. I'm actually feeling a little tired from all the running around. I think I'll just take a nap. Ashley looked at me with silent, understanding eyes. All right then, if you change your mind, you know where to find us. She gave me another quick hug before pairing off with Pandora. Ash, why didn't you tell me about your talent? I muttered under my breath before sulking off. I trudged down the stairs back to the first floor foyer. There, I saw Kanan in almost the same position she was in when I first met her. She didn't tell me if she had an ultimate title when we introduced ourselves. Perhaps she doesn't have one either? I thought about approaching her to ask, but my throat felt dry. I didn't feel like being disappointed in the case she did have an ultimate talent. I quickly turned the corner before Kanan could notice me when... click! Best friend always dies. Not always, but decently often. I heard the sound of a shutter clicking. Turning at the sound, I saw Kanan developing a picture from an instant camera. Huh? How do you have a camera? What do you mean, how? I just thought we were disallowed our personal possessions. I didn't have anything in my room, and when I asked Ash, she said she didn't have anything in her room either. I'm a photographer. I need my tools, don't I? So are you the ultimate photographer? Kanan didn't reply. She just bowed her head once in a slight nod. I didn't say it aloud, but when I saw the name Kanan, I immediately felt, I'm pretty sure that's like a fucking camera. I'm pretty sure she's like an ultimate, like, filmographer, maybe photographer. Photographer seems a bit weird because Mahiru exists in the official games, so why would they reuse a talent? I didn't say it out loud. Why didn't I say it out loud? I could have been known as like a psychic. I could have been known as having the ultimate intuition. No, damn it. Why didn't I? This is why I suck as a streamer. This is why I'm bad at streaming. I never say my thoughts out loud. I knew it from the word go that she was a photographer. How could I have not voiced it? First visual novel, didn't know it was coming. Why TTT depressed me that day? Oh shit. Your Turn to Die was your first visual novel? Oh god. What an amazing introduction, but I'm so sorry.
Kanan Ota, ultimate photographer!
Whoa. Then that picture you just took. She reluctantly handed me the developed photo. Her photo captured the moment I had begun to turn down the hall to avoid speaking to her. I thought she hadn't noticed me. This is...
I know what you're thinking. It's a horrible picture of you. I know it is because it's not a picture of you per se.
Confused, I stared at the photo longer.
I'm not a portrait photographer. I specialize in a composition form called Rückenfigur. Rückenfigur, which translates literally to back figure in German. I don't expect you to understand.
I listlessly handed the photo back to her. That's interesting. Kanan silently took the photo and stuck it in her pocket before occupying herself with her camera once more. But I admit I didn't make an attempt to sound enthused. In truth, I wasn't. Kanan did have an ultimate talent, after all. If that was the case, what was I doing here? My heart and mind were racing. Am I just was this all a mistake? Did I accidentally take the spot an actual ultimate student was meant to take? No way. My voice croaked in desperation. This lavish man teched ultimate students. Those students and their wide-reaching influential skills. Those students who were dexterous masters of their craft. Those students whose charismatic aura reassured my averageness. Those students who created nostalgia-inducing delights.
The only learning you're about to do is learning how to mourn over loss.
Those students who won races upon races with pure skill. A repulsion rose in my stomach. I felt my breath shorten, my chest tighten. Suddenly, I felt weak.
What's wrong with you? You're shaking.
I barely heard Kanan. I leapt for the door. I needed to evacuate myself from the overwhelming presence of the people who accomplish near impossible feats at such a young age. I was just an insignificant bug who wandered into a lion's den. I can't compete. I don't belong here! I grasped the door handle so tightly I saw my knuckles turn white. But soon... I only saw black. I wearily opened my eyes. I was in bed, personal room. Or so I thought. Forte was reclining in a love seat at the corner of his room, combing over what looked like sheets of music. I was in Forte's room.
You're awake.
He set the leaflet down before approaching me with an offering of water. I graciously accepted the cup and gathered my thoughts. My right hand was tingling. After gaining my composure, I managed to croak out a question. Forte, what happened to me?
Curious. That's what I would like to know.
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, after the welcome announcement, I inspected the jazz club, but was quickly uninterested in the venue. I went downstairs to retreat to my personal quarters for the afternoon, but was promptly stopped at the foot of the stairs by Kanon. She said you collapsed at the foot of the foyer's front doors. Kanon told me to keep an eye on you and quickly left.
I scoffed. How considerate of her to have someone else.
But why you collapsed, she did not say.
It came back to me. I wasn't behaving clearly. Yeah, I remember now. I was talking to Kanon in the foyer, but I felt a need for some air and was electrocuted when I grabbed the foyer door handle.
Electrocuted?
Forte was appalled. I, on the other hand, felt nothing. I took another sip of water and I closed my eyes. I felt wide. Forte looked at me with a concerned silence for a moment.
Echo, it might not be my place to say, but you shouldn't feel a need to escape. We're all being generously treated with a safe location to relax in, away from danger.
No, you don't understand. I don't have an ultimate talent like the rest of you. My head drooped in shame, regret, humiliation. I don't have any skills or talents to offer the world. He fell silent again.
Be that as it may, you still are a peer who shouldn't feel outcast from the rest of the group. You must be with us for a reason.
I gazed into the water cup blankly.
Come. The rest of the group is in the dining hall. I believe they are just starting dinner.
Forte placed a firm hand on my shoulder before offering his hand to help me out of bed. I complied quietly. Gods, it was a bad idea to raw dog this. I need to get a drink of some oiter. I need some fucking oiter. Surely I will not be sentenced to death if I leave. To very shortly collect some oiter. Alright, enough with the dramatics. Enough to say, I will be right back. I'm going to get a drink of oiter. Some water. To quench my aching throat. Anyways, yeah, I'll be right back. I've returned! The rat has returned! How long it took me. What was that? 2-3 minutes? Anyways, my sibling, not the one that, was DMing me in the middle of the stream, thirsting over Flynn's Genshin Impact, says hi. The one that actually lives, with me at my father's. Refreshing oiter. Alright. Let's get back into this. The dining hall was fully occupied by our small class. Hey, there you are! Art waved from the end of the table as I entered the dining hall, causing everyone's heads to turn. Ashley and Pandora quickly ran to my side. What happened to you? Are you okay? Folks, please, allow Echo to have a seat before bombarding any questions. The rest of the class paused their dinner as Forte helped me to an open seat by Ashley. Kanon wasn't at the table. Rather, she was standing next to the entryway. She must have noticed me looking at her and turned away once more. Before I could confront her about what happened in the foyer, Missy placed a pork cutlet meal before me. Ashley wouldn't stop fretting in concerns to your well-being, so I took the liberty of getting a meal ready for you whenever you decided to come down. This is just what I needed. How did you know? I didn't. Perhaps I was just lucky. Missy shrugged indifferently, but I saw her mouth turn a small grin. She seemed satisfied with having pleased me. I gave her a small smile back and helped myself to a small portion to regain my energy. Our little community had dinner together. Conversation lightly touched on everyone's mutual awareness of the preservation project. It was a project in which ultimate students who signed up would be placed under protective custody to preserve their skills to benefit the future. Similar stories of talent discovery arose. Certain students grew up in an environment where all they knew was that particular skill, yet they still rose to super excel beyond wildest expectations. I, of course, had no place in the dialogue. I paid no specific attention to the chatter, my mind going blank with white noise whenever the topic of ultimate talents came up. As we all finished our meals, Missy and Cyrus offered to pick up the dishes as everyone else restlessly waited to hear what had happened to me. Echo, you have no idea how worried I was. Ashley was holding my hand tightly. Ash, if you're feeling up to it, would you mind talking about what happened? I glanced over at Kanon next to the entryway. Her face was an iron mask? Well, I was feeling tired from running around the mansion exploring, so after the welcome announcement in the second floor atrium, I decided to go back to my personal room for a nap. Going down to the foyer, I was curious about the front door. I wanted to go outside, so naturally I grabbed the door handle, but was electrocuted by it. Forte found me collapsed and carried me back to his room to rest. You were electrocuted by the door handle? Perhaps we should investigate. What? And get electrocuted ourselves? Of course not. I simply want to inspect the door handle for any suspicious mechanisms. We should also check the floor maps again to see if there are any other similarly rigged exits. And what would this accomplish? It would ensure our safety so that nothing like this happens again. I got an email! Will it be from a job I applied to? It is not! Fuck my stupid baka life! But our safety as ultimate students in the Preservation Project safe house has already been compromised by the existence of such a trap. The group fell silent. Cyrus was right. It seemed as if we had already fallen into some kind of trap the moment we woke. So we're just going to do nothing. Kanon's indifferent voice broke the silence. Kanon's right. We shouldn't sit idly by after our friend Echo was put in danger. We ought to investigate, if not as an insurance measure, but to get to the bottom of the trap that caused such harm. The group agreed and went their separate ways to search for clues. But before anyone could get very far, an announcement rang in.
I'm sorry. It is now 9 p.m. Nighttime will begin at 10 p.m. Facilities will be closed until 7 a.m. the next morning. Even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise.
It seems like we'll just have to suspend the investigation until tomorrow. There's no use in wandering about aimlessly in the dark. I suggest you all rest up. I realize the situation is dire, but please do your best to save your energy for tomorrow.
That sounds like a plan.
We shall meet here tomorrow morning for breakfast and discussion.
Yeesh, some first day, huh?
One by one, everyone filled the training hall, low, concerned murmurs filling the corridors. Ashley stopped me back in the dining hall as the last few left. Look, Echo, I'm sorry if you felt hurt that I didn't tell you about my ultimate talent. Huh? How did you know? I'm your best friend, aren't I? I can tell when you're distraught. It was after that special welcome announcement I noticed you were off. It must have been difficult, feeling like you don't belong. It's all been awfully overwhelming. I never meant to keep it from you, it's just... I feel like being involved with me could only ever cause trouble. Not the horse racing aspect, but the ultimate student status aspect. To get tied up with such intense people could only amount to ultimate levels of trouble. Ash, you know I'm your friend through and through. I don't think being friends with Ashley Westbridge, Horse Girl, is any trouble at all. Ashley giggled. I love you, Echo. You really are a good friend. Of course, I love you too.
And that's how you write friends, motherfucker!
God, hats off to the devs, hats off to the writers. That's how you do it! That's friendship right there! We made our way into the hall, nights, whatever, I forgot to read that. Before entering my room, I saw Art and Lyle lingering in the halls. Hey, you two, is something wrong?
Nope, in fact, we're having a strategy meeting.
Strategy meeting? Art asked me if perhaps our being locked in a mansion situation is a big puzzle.
Think about it. Escape rooms exist, so maybe this mansion is just one giant escape room.
I admit it's not impossible, and it does sound interesting.
Right?
So what do you think? I'm not sure yet. I have a feeling it's some convoluted ARG scheme. ARG? Alternate reality game. It's a type of game that's interacted with through different media experiences, whether it be online or in real life. Tasks range from decrypting audio logs on a website to doing something odd like cleaning up local cemeteries. I see. Given those examples, it's plausible that defuse an electrocuting door could be added to that list of tasks, right? Well, they're typically employed to the public to boost attention for a product. What the product is in our scenario, I'm not certain. And if this is an ARG, there must be a puppet master that's setting these things up. Much like an escape room's game master. An escape room and ARG sound pretty similar in terms of involvement in puzzle solving. I suppose they're not entirely different entities.
Whoa, you got it all figured out already!
Puzzles are my strong suit. I said goodnight and left Art and Lyle to conclude their strategy meeting as I returned to my personal room. I don't like golf. It's for rich old people, and I don't like rich people. I felt the mental and physical exhaustion hit me all at once as I let myself collapse onto the bed. To think I'd be stuck in a luxury mansion with super talented students. My life before this moment had hardly been as eventful as this single day. I lived a rather average life, with as little trouble one could hope for. It was almost utopian, in a sense. I never thought it boring or repetitive. It was like my mundane life caused me to be a little more worrisome than any other person, likely as a will to keep everything the same going forward. However, this strange situation threw disarray. I was wholly out of my element. Above all, I couldn't help but feel guilty for making Ashley worry. Whatever it is I found myself in, I clearly didn't have a place. I sighed heavily. I should get some proper rest. The room was mysteriously fixed with a few sets of my clothing in the closet of the personal bathroom. I let my body relax under the repetitious rhythm of a warm shower. Crawling under the weighty covers, I turned down the lights and let my eyes slowly drift closed. Tomorrow, what were we going to discover?
A dead body! Wogue, the moon!
Hashtag my moon.
Prologue, what's in the middle?
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that so fucking much. Holy shit. Holy fuck, this is so well made. Holy shit. I love this. I love this game. Hold on. I opened my eyes at the sound of the alarm. In my personal room, I sat up from bed and took in the surroundings. So, the events of yesterday weren't part of some strange dream. My personal room that I initially thought was luxurious felt oppressive. It wasn't mine. It couldn't be, since this mansion we found ourselves in was for ultimate students. I was reminded of my mediocrity and let my head fall back on the pillow. I don't want to see everyone. I grumbled and drew the covers over my head, uselessly trying to will away the shame of yesterday. I heard Ashley's muffled voice through the door. "Good morning, Echo. Just coming to check on you." "Oh, just give me a minute. I'll be right out." After getting properly dressed, I met Ashley outside my door in the living quarters hallway. "Good morning, Ash." We walked casually down the hall to the foyer. "You sleep all right last night?" "Yeah, I slept all right, considering." "I hope you're not feeling too down about this whole situation." "I'm still coming to terms with it, but I'm feeling a little better after getting rest, and besides, everyone has been really nice." "That's good to hear. You've always been good at bouncing back." In the foyer, we were met with two other students loitering outside the dining hall. "Sorry, I'm not a morning person." "Neither am I, but I'm really curious about the door. The door seems scary." "Good morning, Lyle." "Good morning. Let's investigate to our best ability, yeah?"